Welcome to For Goodness Sake. Our mission is to connect with people who do extraordinary things to enhance the lives of others and provide them the opportunity to share their stories. Today, we're speaking with Kevin Garrison of Blessing Bag Brigades. Welcome, Kevin, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, can you provide an overview of the Blessing Bag Brigade and its mission?
Yes. So what we are is an organization of volunteers looking to show compassion and humanitarianism to those in need. And we do that by the use of a blessing bag or hygiene kit. And we distribute those all over the state of New Jersey and sometimes other places as well.
That sounds fantastic. And how did the organization come into existence? Like, what was your aha moment?
Well, in 2016, I was working in New York City, seeing the homeless on a daily basis. And a friend of mine had posted a picture of what was called a blessing bag to a social media page. And inside that bag were things like water, snacks, socks, toothbrush, toothpaste, other hygiene items. And she wrote, "What a great idea." And I thought, yeah, that is a great idea because seeing the homeless on a daily basis and suffering from depression myself for many, many years, I totally could identify with those feelings of helplessness, loneliness, despair, and just really wish there was something I could do for them. But, what can you do? Because, the task just seems monumental. So with the picture of this, I figured, maybe I can hand these things out and people will be excited about them. So I put this story out on social media to my friends. They started dropping stuff off at my apartment, and within a couple weeks, I handed out like 200 blessing bags, and was just totally amazed that people would give that much stuff to me to give out. So, in short, that's how it started.
That's a great story. I love that.
Yeah.
And so, what specific services or support does Blessing Bag Brigade offer to individuals experience like homelessness or other challenging circumstances?
So through the use of the blessing bag, I started going to different, I worked in New Jersey. I worked in New York, lived in New Jersey, and, was wondering what was happening in New Jersey. Like, I don't really see the homeless where I live, and didn't know where people in need might be. So, discovered soup kitchens and food pantries. Now, I know that sounds a little odd being my age. I should probably know what these are, but, I really hadn't been exposed to them. And so I went to one day and handed a blessing bag to someone. And, we give a little 2-ounce, most of the products are like 2 ounces. And we gave a 2-ounce bottle of shampoo to this gentleman, and he jumped up and down and thanked me for like a whole 2 minutes for shampoo in that small bottle. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. But what I came to realize is that in these soup kitchens and food pantries, obviously they give out food, but in a lot of cases, they don't give out much more. So we started giving those out in soup kitchens and food pantries. And in doing so, we stumbled upon a soup kitchen that was closing. So in short, we took over that soup kitchen and subsequently another one. So we offer services like blessing bags, hygiene kits. We run a soup kitchen or 2 different ones 3 days a week. We have a special needs program where we have kids with special needs make blessing bags for us for their life skills program.
Cool.
So we're in about 15 different schools.
Nice.
Yeah, we offer just depending upon the need. If we can help, we can. We've sent people to rehabilitation centers for drugs and alcohol. We've helped people with community service hours. People in school, sometimes people come out of incarceration and they still need to do community service. We've provide that service as well. We're just a bunch of like-minded volunteers getting together to, help not only people in need, but each other,
Mm.
And you know how when you volunteer, how good it feels to do so. And it's just it's amazing the people you meet and how you're able to, you know, get such a satisfying feeling out of doing something like that.
Yeah, wonderful, really wonderful stories. And so you keep mentioning the hygiene bag. So how do you get the items for those bags and what are typically in the bags?
So we have 10 items in the bag, and they are water, snacks, socks, toothbrush and toothpaste, lotion, soap, deodorant, razor, and shampoo. And we put those in a gallon-sized Ziploc bag, and we get those items from supply drives, we call them. So like once a month, I'll go on social media from like the first through the 10th of the month and ask people for supplies. And then, you know, for the rest of the month, I try to show them where the supplies are going, who benefited from them, what kind of things we're doing to, you know, help in the community. And, you know, that's the basis of it, you know, and then the rest of it is just awesome extra stuff that we get to do.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a really very cool thing. And I can imagine the feeling that you get of helping people out. But and you said the person was jumping up and down if they're just
Yeah.
what we think is just like a normal thing, but they have so little that anything is really a big deal for them. What can you share a couple of success stories of people you've helped or
Sure,
groups? Yeah.
sure. Yeah, so you know, I think one of the major success stories is the special needs programs that we have that come into not only our Blessing Bag Supply Center, but also our soup kitchens that come in and serve guests and pack lunches. And I mean, that's just wonderful. When I first started this, we had a gentleman who came into our soup kitchen in Long Branch, New Jersey. And he, you know, we could tell he was an alcoholic. He used to come in drunk all the time. And, you know, we just treated him with love and you know tenderness. And one day he came in and he had just gotten beaten up, and he had, you know, you've heard stories of people saying, oh, I had a golf ball size knot on my head. This guy actually did. I've never seen anything like it before.
Wow.
And I just, he was bleeding all over, so we cleaned him up the best we could. We got him to a hospital, and one of our volunteers was she was, I guess, experienced in this kind of rehabilitation work, and she was able to take him to the hospital, talk him into going to a rehab, and the guy, he got sober
Mhm.
and then went to a halfway house and, you know, continued his recovery. And then I believe he moved away, and you know, hopefully he's still sober. We can only hope, but I mean, to even get him to that point was something amazing. And then one of my favorite stories is a woman who used to come to us, and she was very rough, very street woman, and you know, couldn't use a sentence without cursing. And I don't mean just a little, I mean a lot. And so she was just rough, and she would pick fights with everyone. And you know, every time she came, I would give her a hug, and the others would do the same, and you know, just treat her like a real person. You know, told her she didn't have to act like that and everything. Well, she, before we met her, she we found out because she wound up doing community service with us that she called in a bomb threat to a courthouse to
Ooh.
get her friend out of going to court.
Ooh.
So, so this is what the kind of person we were dealing with, you know, that kind of just shows you the mindset. And anyway, uh, she asked if she could do community service hours with us, and you know, at first the our core of people weren't sure if she was going to be a good fit, if you know what I'm saying. You know, she was a little rough. So, but you know, I said we have to do this. Like we're called to help others like this. Like this is the reason we exist. And every time she came in, gave her a hug, whatever. She finished her probationary period. She softened up like you wouldn't believe. And how I know this is because she was able to get a job as a hostess at Applebee's. Now,
Wow.
if I mean, like from coming from street fighting with people to, you know, being able to say hello to guests who may or may not be in a good mood and sit them down gracefully. It was just amazing to me. And she had that job, and that was right before COVID. So
Oh,
just amazing story,
wow.
I
Wow.
think.
Yeah.
That's really kind of an awesome turnaround story for her and for you guys
Yeah.
too. I mean, it's really
Yeah.
great. That's really great. And you mentioned about the special needs kids. You collaborate with other organizations to either find the materials to put in the bags, or the help, or the what other kind of.
Yes. Yeah. So what we do is we hold these events called supply gathering and packing events, and we hold them throughout different communities. Sometimes we will get involved with um, like different scout organizations, sport organizations, church organizations, things like that. And we call the community together to gather those 10 items, bring them together, and then we pack the bags together as a community. So a lot of times we have leftover items, they'll go back to our supply center, and that will help us help with the good life skills program for the special needs kids.
Oh,
So yeah, they'll come in. We have, like I said, we have about 15, 16 different groups that come in. Some of them are schools, some of them are the ARC of Monmouth County. Yeah, and it's just awesome to see them interact. Like, a lot of them are high functioning, so they're able to do tasks very easily, and some of them are not. And it's like I said, it just puts a smile on your face every time they come
yeah,
and
sure.
whatever they do,
And I'm sure they appreciate doing it in the first place, because
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
What, do you have any challenges putting this together? I mean, you're scaling this from a couple of bags at Christmas time to, oh my God, like what
Yeah.
kind of challenges you run into?
Yeah. So, COVID was a fun challenge. We shut down our soup kitchens for 2 weeks just so we could figure out what was going on. And then we just opened up and started serving people, to
Okay.
go, just like everybody else,
Okay.
challenges. But day to day challenges is collecting supplies, especially right now, 2023, the economy's not the greatest. And, people have to be careful with their money. So, getting donations, even as much as people want to help, is sometimes tough. So that's our biggest challenge, is keeping up with the special needs schools, because that has become the passion part of this of mine. We are total 100% volunteer run. Nobody in our organization gets a salary. We get our space for free. The only thing we pay for is like our vehicle. We have a truck that we pay for, and obviously insurance for the charity. But so, I would say, finding places to give gets tough sometimes. But, our motto is kind of like, we only can do what we can do when we can do it. So if one month we give out 100 bags and the next month we give out 5,000, then that's just the way it was supposed to be.
Okay.
And yeah, so
Very good.
that's how we run it without any pressure. You know what I mean? Because I just thought that if I could do this in a way that is not putting pressure on me or anyone else in the organization, it would just be more organic, and I feel like it would flow better. And it really does, because with that mindset of we only can do what we can do when we can do it, it takes all that pressure off.
Sure.
Because whether you serve 50 meals that day or 550 meals, it's whatever the market will bear, if I can use a marketing term.
Yeah. And how do you get, besides the soup kitchens where people come in, how do you distribute them in other places, or how do you do that?
Yep.
How's that work?
Yep. So we distribute about 2,000 to 3,000 blessing bags a month, or hygiene kits. And we go to different soup kitchens and food pantries around the Monmouth County, Ocean County, New Jersey area. And then we also deal with the city of Newark, and we go to their shelters and rehabilitation centers. And we also do some street work in some of the cities. We have people that go to Trenton, Camden. We go to more Newark area here for us. And we'll go into Penn Station, New York, and just try to guide people to the other services that are out there. We never claim that we're going to stop homelessness. Like, that's not our thing. We don't. First of all, I don't believe that that's ever going to happen, because there's just too many circumstances out there that people could become homeless because of a house fire. People could become homeless to lose a job, and it doesn't have to be long term or habitual. It could just be short term. So to say that you're going to end homelessness, I think is not a correct term. You know what I mean? So, but we offer the chance to help, and that's what we really do, and guide people to other services who could potentially help them and get them off the street, or get them, an electric bill paid, or whatever the case may be.
Mhm, mhm.
I
So
think that's wonderful.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
really great. Now, since it's you do what you can when you can, is there a way to measure the effectiveness? Like how many you have this many bags that are giving out in a given time? I don't want to say how many less homeless people there are, but how many less people come the next week? You know what I mean? As a
Right, right. We I guess the greatest compliment would be that when we do see these people over time, they come and ask for a hygiene kit. They say,
Oh,
"Hey, can I get a blessing bag?" So they must be reaching and meaning something to these people, because they're asking for more,
yeah.
and it's not an everyday thing. It would be like if we go to a soup kitchen, we'll probably go once a month. They know what it is, they want it. These kits aren't there to save them or get them off the streets or help them long term. Even it's just an item or a bag to show that people care,
Mhm,
and people's willingness to give and give back, and let them know that there are people out there that really care.
mhm.
This may be the only little thing we could do, but we do care, and we hope you get help,
And
whatever that may be.
you're right. And
you know
you're the one that really cares for them. Nobody else does. Essentially,
Yeah.
they're
yeah,
alone without you.
right.
Yeah,
A lot of times, yeah, yeah.
Well,
yeah,
that's great. So I have some more questions. You know, uh, obviously you've grown from what you started out
Yeah.
at. So do you have any specific initiatives or products that you're currently working on or planning for the future?
Nothing too specific. Like I
Okay.
said, we try to keep it fluid, but we hope to keep generating volunteer opportunities, because I think that strengthens the community in general. Doesn't have to be just, you know, the whole United States. It could be just your community and grows
Mhm,
from there.
mhm.
So if we can, we're always coming up with new ideas. So sometimes in the summer, we'll do a thing where we'll go to the streets of Newark, we'll set up in a park, and we'll have lunches and things like that, to do. My I guess my dream would be to grow in that we can help as many special needs schools that come to us and help them with their life skills programs. And
Okay.
then also, if we could probably, I would love to maybe open another soup kitchen somewhere, but they're very hard because, I may be dedicated, I may want to do it, but volunteers, to ask someone to do that every single week
Yeah,
consistently, that's a tough ask. It
yeah.
takes special people, and thank God so far we've had special people who have wanted to take that task on
Mhm,
it. And while I'm doing Blessing Bag stuff, they're running the soup kitchens. Yeah. Because I try to give people ownership of it. So if
mhm.
I don't have to be there, they have the ownership. They feel like it's theirs. That's because I don't want it to be about me. I
Yeah,
want it to be about them and us as a volunteer group, and everyone has their power to do and raise each other up. So that's kind of how I
cool.
guess that. So no long-term real goals, but
Okay.
that's yeah.
That's okay. I love that. So I know you've mentioned the soup kitchens and the schools. So since we're talking to basically to the public now, how can individuals or group maybe reach out to you to get involved and support your organization?
Yeah, so if you Google Blessing Bag Brigade, we'll show up one of the top searches, which is pretty nice. But they can reach us out, blessingbagbrigadenj.org. We're on Facebook. You can look us up for Facebook group. Our group is public, so you don't have to like it. You could just go on there and check it out once in a while. We have a very Instagram, blessing_bag_NJ. And our website's pretty good. I heard people like it because there's a big tab for volunteer opportunities, and there's so many things to do. Once you go on there, you could not only join up for something that we do, but you could do something on your own. Like you could just collect deodorant, or you could just
Cool.
collect socks. We have a lot of people who do sock drives, a lot of people who do like deodorant drives, or toothbrush and toothpaste drives. So it doesn't have to be specifically the whole bag or the whole anything. We also ask that people do things for the soup kitchens. They can bring us frozen vegetables, because we're involved with the larger soup larger food pantry, but the stuff you get there is not always the greatest for you. And we're dealing a lot of times with people with health issues, so we can't serve canned vegetables and things like that. And I don't know about you, but I don't really want to eat canned pork. You know what I mean? So we look for the public to help us out with that, donations to maybe get a better food sometimes, or frozen vegetables, fresh vegetables, things like that.
Okay, cool. That's great. And again, since we're talking about the public and people helping, in what ways does Blessing Bag Brigade prioritize diversity, equity, and inclusion in its organization?
We just help everyone, whoever needs
Whoever
help. That's it. We give with an open heart. That's as easy as that.
Okay, great. And is there a way, do you accept financial donations? Is there a way for people to help out that way?
Yep, we have a Venmo, we have a PayPal, all this through the website. We have, a physical address at 55 South Avenue, Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey, 07716, where they can send, checks, if people still do that. We can send a check. So that's always fun. Yeah, and then at that location, we have deck boxes there where you can drop stuff off, and it's always great when we come in on a Monday morning and the deck boxes are full or half full, or there's stuff in there. So it's like Christmas every day when we go there and find stuff. So we love that.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yes.
Very cool. Well, this has been an awesome conversation with Kevin. Really appreciate you coming on here. And I don't know about you, Dawn, but I'm really feeling the love and the give and empathy, coming right through the screen here from you. So
absolutely, my heart is pounding with joy.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
And we'll put all those links and stuff in the comments, underneath here. So
Awesome.
Yeah. So, so anybody who's out there, if you have somebody who is at least as awesome as Kevin, and this is like unbelievable, let Dawn and I know, and we'll get them on the show here too.